Welcome to the first ever video/audio version of this podcast. That's right. I have officially figured out how to do the video portion of this. Got a new phone, got a little dongle adapter thing to attach my microphone to the camera. So this is exciting. This is an exciting moment for me. We'll see how it goes, that's for sure. So I'm currently sitting on my bed. As you can see, I have this amazing Venus. And for the audio listeners, I'm sorry, just for a couple seconds. I have this amazing cat painting behind me that depicts the famous painting Venus. I absolutely love it. I posted a whole TikTok video about it, talking about how I found it at TJ Maxx. It literally lightened up my entire day. I was having a bad day that day, and then I see this amazing painting where cats are the people in the Venus painting, and my day got like 10 times better. So here we are. Anyway, so appreciate it, love it. It will more than likely be in every single background for this podcast. It might as well be my mascot. So I don't have a whole lot to talk about today except for some things that have just come to my mind recently. One of which is the new, 4 or 5 episodes of Bridgerton. I have some thoughts on Bridgerton. I enjoy Bridgerton. I always have. Since it started, I've watched all 3 to 4 seasons because there's the 3 seasons in the immediate show Bridgerton, then there's the extension called Queen Charlotte. I've watched all of them. I have liked all of them. It took me a second to watch Queen Charlotte though, but I'm glad I did. It was really good. This 3rd season is about Penelope Featherington, aka now Penelope Bridgerton, and I'm gonna have some spoilers. So if you don't want to know some specific details about Bridgerton, then I just recommend that you skip past probably about 10 minutes. It's about Penelope Bridgerton that is played by Nicola. I forgot her last name, if I'm being honest, but her name is Nicola. I've talked about her a couple times on this podcast. Heaven says I'm obsessed with her. I'm not, but I do like her a lot. So it's about her and then Colin Bridgerton and their love story, which in my opinion wasn't the best in comparison to the other love stories. I would say the best love story is definitely between Anthony and Miss Sharma. Their love story is just, it's enemies to lovers. It's very pleasing. Let's just say that. It's very pleasing. This one with Colin and Penelope, it's friends to lovers, which is much more of a common and realistic love story, but that's not really the issue. I just don't really know if I like Colin. And from what I've heard, he's not a very likable character in the books. And I'm just kind of like, okay, but that's kind of reflected in the show. Maybe not as much. But he definitely is not my favorite Bridgerton boy. I personally like Benedict. He's probably my favorite Bridgerton boy. And I'm not going to choose a favorite Bridgerton girl. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, he's just not my favorite. His glow up was interesting to me. He looks a little odd, if I'm being honest. He has very intense cheekbones, which I can't say anything because whenever I'm a little slimmer in the face, I have pretty intense cheekbones. He just was I think it was kind of a shock factor for me because he went from this really soft, emotionally and physically soft looking person to this very chiseled looking guy, and I think it was just whoa, okay. And then his personality in general, I personally think he's a little bit dumb in the earlier seasons, and then in this season he's just kind of all over the place. And I'm kind of well, you were friends with this girl for so long, and then you just decide that, oh, I kissed you and now I want to be with you because I kissed you. That made me see you. That whole concept was just kind of odd, and it was very obvious that he was just very jealous of her throughout the entire season. Once he found out that Penelope is Lady Whistledown, it was very obvious to me that he was jealous that she was a good writer and pretty much had a career to a degree and was making a lot of money, and he's just kind of flying by under the Bridgerton name. So it was very obvious that he was jealous, which Penelope, I'm very happy that Penelope decided to continue with Lady Whistledown, but I don't know how I feel about, first of all, whatever her name is from, what's her name? The voice of Lady Whistledown isn't Penelope in the first 3 seasons. Hang on, I gotta look this up. Real quick look up because I don't know anyone's name because I suck at names. This is gonna be very embarrassing once I say who it is. It's literally on the tip of my tongue. Julie Andrews. Julie Andrews is the voice of Lady Whistledown in the first 3 seasons. I think she's also in Queen Charlotte. Now that Penelope has admitted that she is Lady Whistledown, now she's going to be the voiceover of the Lady Whistledown voiceovers. That sounded educated. I don't know how I feel about that because Julie Andrews' voice is just very pleasing to me. Mandy Moore is in Princess Diaries? How did I not connect that? Oh my god. Anyway, so there's that factor where I'm like, I don't really know how I feel about Lady Whistledown not really being a thing anymore. Like, that whole storyline of who Lady Whistledown is, keeping it a secret, is very interesting to me. And now it's just gonna be like a bunch of love stories, and I'm like, I like the mystery. I like the, anxiety of it all. And now it's like, okay, there's no big secrets now. There are no big secrets now. I literally can't think of one. Violet and a Lady Danbury are fine with their whole issue. Eloise doesn't have to keep it no longer is looking for Lady Whistledown or has to keep the secret anymore. I think the only drama that's going to end up coming up is that Violet Bridgerton, the mom, is starting to date Lady Danbury's brother, and Antony is not going to like that at all, but that's the only thing I can really think of. So, also another thing that I'm like, oh my gosh, the next season's going to be so sad because every single time it's like one of the siblings' season, after their season, they're like barely in the show anymore. Especially Daphne. Bye-bye Daphne. That actress is no longer going to be in Bridgerton because whatever his name is, the guy, her love interest, quit the show. He was like, yeah, I'm not coming back. Oh, I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name. Jean Page. He plays Simon Bassett, which is Daphne's love interest. He's not going to be in it anymore, so Daphne's not in it anymore. That means we don't see her family issues happen anymore. Antony and Miss Sharma, I guess that's not actually her name, but that's just how I remember her, was barely in the 3rd season after their story, and now I'm barely going to see freaking Penelope, which is upsetting to me because I like Penelope and she's probably one of my favorite characters in the show. So the 3rd season wasn't my absolute favorite. But then again, I did say that about the 2nd season, and then I already watched it, and I was like, actually, this is probably the best season. I don't think the 3rd season is going to be the best season, but I think I'm going to be okay with it later when I watch it again. I think another issue that I have is that, it was split up into 2 parts, so I really didn't get to watch it all together, and I don't want to right now for at least a little bit, so I kind of just have like a skewed view on it to a degree because I didn't watch it all together. So I don't really like about the whole Lady Whistledown thing. I don't like that we're probably not going to see Penelope. I don't really care about Colin, but Penelope in it anymore. I'm like, Also, at the very end, it jumped to like a year. Like, Penelope and Colin have a baby boy at the very end of the season, so we at least skipped 10 to 12 months. 10 to a year, What happened? I guess they're just skipping over the time that Eloise is in Scotland with her sister because, her sister Francesca got married during that season as well, which I'm also kind of confused. Is Francesca bi? Because that last interaction she had with her husband, which I cannot remember his name, and her husband's cousin, as soon as she saw that cousin, she was like completely baffled at the sight of her. And at first I was like, does she just not like her? And then I was like, or does she actually like her? Like, is she attracted to her? I'm so confused as to where that's gonna go. I don't know what's happening. I liked it. I didn't like it. At the same time, am I going to continue watching it? Of course. I need to see what happens to Eloise, even though she's not very likable. I need to know what happens to Benedict and Francesca, because I know her husband, big spoiler, is gonna die. I know he's gonna die. So what's gonna happen with that? I need to know what happens with Violet. I need to know what happens to the rest of the people. But the season was just a little bit lackluster, and I blame it on Colin. I blame it all on Colin. I digress. I honestly think it's boys with this C letter. Anyway, part of a reason why Bridgerton has been on my brain recently is because I've been seeing a lot of things on social media and stuff talking about how Nicola is like brave for putting her nude body on the screen. And for those of you who don't know, Nicola, I'm trying to find her last name. Nicola Colgan? She's Scottish, I think, or Irish. I don't remember. She is more of a plus size person. She's a little short and stout. I don't know if that's the right phrase, but she's short. She's a little bit on the plus side. In hindsight, she really is not that big. like at all. If anything, like as I was watching, I thought, you know, in the first season, I was like, oh yeah, she's a little bit like, she's like a plump girly, you know, nothing wrong with that. But I honestly think that they made her look bigger than she actually is in at least the first 2 seasons. Because at first I was like, oh yeah, she's a little plump. And then in this 3rd season, I was like, wait a second, she really doesn't look that big. Because I think they were making the dresses look good on her, for one, because she's like, you know, the diamond of that season. She wasn't the diamond in the season, but she's the star of that season. Anyway, I was looking at her in her little frisky scene with Colin, and I was like, wait a second, that girl is not as big as people are saying that she is, and she's cute. And I've been seeing all this stuff of like saying that she's brave, that it was a very big thing, and she's like, Nicola's like, actually, I don't really see it as that big of a thing because I just have a body and I put it on the screen like all the other girls in this show have done the same. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why it's that big of a deal. And there was a lot of talk about her breasts. Like, why is everyone talking about her boobs? I'm so confused. And it's not like the Bridgerton, like, she's the first more plus size actress to act nude in television. It's not very common, but she's not the first. So why is it a brave thing? I don't understand. It's the perfect body image. I have been noticing it a lot recently, partially because I've been struggling with my own body image, my own personal goals whenever it comes to weight and eating healthy and working out and all those things. They all kind of correlate together. And when I was raised around the time with the moms and, you know, parents that were raised whenever they were younger, that being like a 00 or a 0 in clothing size is normal and is the most desired look, which kind of creates like the almond moms. Here, I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee real quick because I got it and I don't want it to melt, the ice to melt. Here's my coffee. Hear that good coffee? Yeah. I haven't had a coffee in like 4 days, so this is nice for me. I had a rough morning and a really bad headache after work, so I was like, I think I need a coffee. So yeah, like, there's the whole thing of like the almond moms who, and I'm not saying that my mom is an almond mom and I love my mom to death, and I'm not saying that my mom necessarily wrong, but like the way that age range, which is like probably early 50s, late 40s to very, very late 30s, if not early 40s, that age range, when they were raised, being extremely skinny was the normal and was the most desired. And that thought process, for a lot of the moms specifically, they still see that as the case to a degree. So I think seeing that nowadays, beauty or the idea of like body image and stuff has changed drastically over the years, and rightfully so, because being a 00 is honestly very unhealthy for a lot of people. Even being in the 120s for a huge handful of people is like very much so pushing it. I personally think that being in the 140s and 150s is like a healthy weight for most people. I can't really speak whenever it comes to males to guys because I was never raised around guys, and I don't know what a healthy weight is for guys. So I'm just gonna speak on the girls because I'm a girl and I can speak personally to this. But like even 160s and 170s isn't horrible. Like, as long as you are healthy, you know, no matter what weight you are, you can be in the freaking 200s for all I know. As long as you're healthy and you're taking care of your body, it doesn't really matter how much you weigh. The idea of beauty and the pressure amongst parents and stuff, it can be a very damaging thing, and I'm very glad that like it hasn't changed completely, but in social media, you know, beauty is in the behind. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You can be 200 pounds, you can be very, whatever. I'm not going to try to do specifics on weights because it really doesn't matter how much you weigh. And you can be beautiful to anyone. You can look beautiful to yourself. And just because you are heavier or just because you're skinnier than you would probably prefer to be, that doesn't mean that you're not beautiful, especially if you're in like a good mindset and stuff. And like I've said, personally, I have been dealing with some weight issues just because I've been going through a lot of hard, eventful stressful times in my life, and unfortunately to get through those times, I tend to binge eat, and I have had a hard time with food in the past, especially whenever it comes to sweets, candy in particular. I can just wolf a lot down without even like thinking about it, and obviously that puts an effect on my body later in time, and I've been dealing with that a lot recently. And the thing is like, I look at my body, and I honestly don't hate it. I don't hate the way my body is. 9 times out of 10, I actually think I look pretty good for the weight that I am at, or for the mindset that I am in. I feel like I still look good, and I feel like I look decent. So half the time, I always have my moments where I'm like, ugh, like, I just want to lose 10 pounds. I want to, I just want to stop feeling bloated, or I want to stop I want to have less puffiness in my face and all this stuff. And I think it's all, whenever it comes to losing weight and eating healthy, it's all a mindset that you have to put yourself in. And that is a really, really hard thing to do. And over time, I have learned that I can't beat myself up about it. I can't force myself to look the way I think the world wants me to look. Because if I look in the mirror and I see that my body is not what I think society wants me to look like, then I just dig myself down a well. And frankly, like, I never really looked around and saw people. Like, I was a people watcher, but I never actually looked at people. I was more looking at people, what they were doing. I never actually looked at people. And I've noticed that there are so many people out there that are of all different body types and different weights and stuff. And I have found that a lot of people are, like, really pretty and are so stylish, and they can look really good in their own way, in their own style. And I think there is no right way to be beautiful. There's no right weight that you need to be to feel beautiful. And I think that Nicola in Bridgerton is a pretty good example of that. She thinks that her body is beautiful, and she's willing to put it out there in the world and be like, this is my body. This is a very common body in the world, and I'm not ashamed of it. And I think that is a very a thing to admire, that's for sure. And the reason why I was thinking about this, not only because of what I've seen on social media, but I have also recently, today actually, I went out to find an outfit for my little sister's high school graduation, because it's happening in a couple days. I have very little time to figure out an outfit, and since I have gained so much weight recently, a lot of my nicer stuff I have grown out of. And the thing is, like, a lot of stuff I can still fit in, but it's just not as comfortable anymore, and I'd rather feel comfortable than force myself to wear more of a tighter outfit for 5 hours. It just does not sound pleasing to me at all. So I've been going out the past couple days trying to find a outfit to wear, and first of all, the prices of everything is stupid. Everything costs like $20 or more, and it's just like, I just want to get a new bra. I just want to find a new t-shirt or something. I just want to find a new dress. First of all, I don't really like dresses. I could not find a single dress that I thought was cute that fit me well. The thing about my body is that I have like a bigger chest, a small waist, but I have a really larger thighs and butt, if that makes any sense. Like, my thighs aren't huge, but whenever you add it to the butt part, like, the width of it is just, it doesn't work whenever it comes to jeans. Finding jeans is very hard. I'm like a 12 in the waist, but a 16 in the thigh, and that's just, it doesn't work very well. Obviously, I can get a belt. Finding a good pair of jeans is so uncomfortable, and I do not think people talk about it enough. The fact that trying to find a bra in jeans, it took me 3 hours today to try on multiple different pairs of jeans and multiple different types of bras to find something that barely felt comfortable to me. And at the end of the day, I'm going to return those jeans because I tried them on again. I tried on the whole outfit whenever I got home, and the jeans were just so lackluster. I'm like, I don't want to have $40 jeans. I bought these at Target, by the way. $40 jeans. They're not the most expensive jeans ever, but still $40 just laying down in my room that I'm going to probably wear twice. The shirt was $20. I actually do enjoy the shirt a lot. I don't know if it's appropriate for what I'm going to I hope that it will work. It's not that bad. It's just a little tank top. Not a tank top. It's a little like kind of like a baby doll tee. It's really cute actually. I do enjoy it a lot. And then I also got a new bra, which I might return. I don't know yet because I'm like, there's spending so much money on these things that barely fit me. And the thing is also whenever you're kind of like at a weight where your goal is to lose the weight, you don't really want to buy stuff that is like buy too many things that are very large because you're planning on losing the weight soon-ish, and then you're gonna like, it feels like you're wasting a bunch of money whenever. That's a horrible mindset to be in. It's like, just buy clothes that feel comfortable. But there's that little part of me that's like, well, you don't want to buy clothes that's the weight that you are now, because in 6 months you're going to be like 2 sizes smaller, and then you're just gonna waste all your money. And I say this because I have done that before. Like I bought stuff at my higher weight and then I lost like 15 pounds. And with the way that my body is shaped, like that makes me go down a couple sizes. Like it's a whole struggle. So it makes me not want to buy stuff that isn't sweatpants and that isn't sweatshirts. Jeans suck, like a lot. And bras also suck. Like, why are they so complicated in every way, shape, or form? Like, I have honestly given up trying to buy a real bra, a quote-unquote real bra that has like an underwire and adjustable straps and stuff. Like more of a supportive bra, because no. First of all, they're so uncomfortable. Second of all, I feel like I can never find a bra that actually fits me right in every way, because there's like the cup size, there's the band size, there's, I don't even know, there's like 4 different types of things that you have to add all together to get this bra size, and it's just too complicated for me. So instead I buy bralettes and things, and like sports bras, things that are barely a bra to wear instead, because first of all, they're more comfortable, second of all, they're not that complicated. They really are not that complicated. And then jeans, I used to wear jeans all the time, but now I can't find a single pair of jeans that fit me well enough. I've been wearing a lot of sweatpants and leggings and just some like random pants that aren't jeans but are nicer than sweatpants, like kind of like joggers but not. I don't really know what they're called, if I'm being honest. So tomorrow, because I have 3 days to like go back to my parents' house and see my sister graduate, which is a very exciting time, but I have a very little amount of time to find a good outfit, and I have a small budget. I have a very small budget to do this. So all that to say, the whole concept of beauty and weight and the way that the fashion industry is whenever it comes to weight is just not fun. It is not fun having to go about your day, because the thing is, like, I'm not that heavy of a person, but throughout my entire life, I always thought that I was large, that I was like the larger friend, the duff or whatever you want to call it. When I wasn't, and that shouldn't even be a thing in general, but whenever I was younger, I was like, boys don't want to hang out with me, or no one wants to date me because I'm heavier, or my head is too big, or my face is too round, or whatever. And I think that mindset of just always having to be really skinny, even whenever I was really skinny, ultimately made me gain weight, because whenever I was upset, I went to food, and it was just a whole thing. And also, like, I feel like the only way to really know how to manage your diet and exercise, it has to be taught at a young age. And I think part of my issue is that ever since I was little, I was always in some sort of sport or physical activity type vibe. Soccer, one year, I was mainly in dance, because I'm not a PE type of gal. It's just not what I am. I was a dancer for a little while, and doing that type of stuff will keep you very physically active. Whenever you're younger, you can eat a lot more, but I was never really taught completely, especially whenever I got more into the middle school, high school years, that okay, so you're working out, but that doesn't mean that while you're working out you should eat a bunch of junk food or a bunch of sweets, because even though you're not losing the weight now, even though you're not gaining the weight now while you're eating this stuff, in the future, when you stop doing a bunch of physical activity, like in college and stuff, if you're not a sports person, then you're going to gain all that weight. And pile that on top of, mental issues. And if your coping mechanism is food, then you're just kind of like screwed. And if you haven't if you never learned how to do that much balance whenever you were younger, then you're a little bit screwed whenever you're older, and then it takes a lot longer to get over that learning curve. It's kind of the state that I'm in now. And then you also compare yourself to a lot of people that are your age or that are more successful than you. And a lot of times, for some reason, I associate success with looks, which is unfortunate and not realistic. In some cases, I feel like whenever it comes to like TikTok and stuff, if you're a very pretty person, you're gonna get acknowledgement from that. You either have to be a very funny person or a very pretty person, and usually if you're very pretty, in the world's eyes, you're also very skinny, and you're just kind of like effortlessly, you're gonna succeed. And so I'm not a very funny person. I can't really just tell jokes. I'm not that type of person. And I've never been like, I don't think I'm the very traditionally pretty person. I see people that are succeeding on social media and I'm like, I don't look like that. I'm not funny like that. I'm not clever like that. So I understand why I haven't gotten to their level of success, which is stupid. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it. And I think some people are lucky when most of their like fan base just revolves around their looks, so it's kind of like easy. I'm not saying that isn't hard having I'm sure that there's a lot of pressure to look your best, and that can cause a whole lot of issues, and I do not wish that upon myself or other people. Being on social media in general, no matter how you gained your success, is a very hard thing to do, and only like I think only the strongest type of people can fully succeed and continue to succeed for years, the social media realm, because it's brutal. But with my personal, mindset, I see people that look different to me, that are different to me whenever it comes to looks and smarts and cleverness and all that stuff. Compare that to myself and I'm like, oh, I guess that's why I'm not desirable in many different ways, which isn't true. It's so stupid the way our brains work and how every brain is very different, individuality, whatever. But it's so stupid the way that society has really ingrained in our brains of what's good and what's bad. Even though being a little being plus size is not bad, and doesn't necessarily mean that you're unhealthy either, or that you're upset, that you are going through mental issues. Some people are just built that way, and some people look really good, I digress. I went on a whole rant there because I was thinking about it like literally all day, especially while I was in the Target dressing room, looking at myself and being like, I hate trying clothes on. Also, first of all, to note, the Target dressing rooms are so hot. Like, I was boiling in there. I'm like, I'm trying this stuff on, trying multiple different pairs of jeans, multiple different types of bras, and I am sweating. Not because this is a hard thing for me to do. I mean, it's draining, of course, but the room was like burning up. It was so warm in there. What are they doing? Why is there not AC being pumped? Why is there not AC being pumped in the dressing room? It was boiling hot. Speaking of TikTok, tell me why bobs, like the haircut, is popular right now amongst a handful of people. I have been seeing countless people, probably more like 5, but countless people saying that they want a bob. When I had a bob, and for the video listeners / viewers, this is a picture of me in a bob. I was in 4th grade. I was also younger, but I remember specifically 4th grade I had a bob, and I was constantly made fun for it, and I still am to this day. I had a bob in 4th grade, and it was really bad. I had short hair for a long period of time during elementary school, but specifically a bob. I rocked a bob. I rocked that bob. But now it's popular, or it's beginning to be popular, and I'm just going through a whirlwind of what? Bobs? Are you serious? Like, I get people, people have short hair, but whenever it comes to bobs, what? That was crazy for me. Another thing that's crazy for me is that my little sister, my youngest sister, she is 13 years old. She's about to turn 13 in like a couple days. She's moving with my family back to Texas. So she's planning on what her new room is going to look like and how they're going to decorate it. Please tell me why. Please tell me why my little sister wants her room to look like this for the video listeners. for the audio listeners, early 2000s, in the early 2000s, if you were a kid during that time, like 10 years old, no, like 15 to 8 years old, if you were getting raised in the early 2000s, your room, there was like, and you were a girl, I can't really speak for the guys, but if you were a girl, there was like probably 3 or 4 different types of rooms you could have had. One was the hot pink zebra print, like there was the hot pink mixed with the black and white zebra print. Everything was either hot pink or black and white zebra print or some sort of mixture with that, with like the fluffy feather boa hot pink stuff. There was that. There was I forget what that monkey brand is called. Or you had the Bobby Jack type vibe. I think there was like green and pink. I think there was also zebra print, and with that, a lot of words, a lot of monkeys. Or you had the Paris themed room where there was a lot of pink, but it was like a lighter pink with a bunch of Paris words, the Eiffel Tower, things like that, literally everywhere. Or you had the pink and green, another pink and green version, but with a bunch of flowers, like the IKEA wallflowers that were lights and like little murals. And there was also another version with purple. Tell me why my little sister Tessie wants her room to be the hot pink and zebra print mixture with the feather boas. Do not tell me that early 2000s is like a nostalgic, like, it is nostalgic for people like my age and older, and I'm 21, but that's not like trendy now, is it? It's not trendy. I refuse that's trendy now. Like the 90s has been trendy for years. Is this a thing? Ask your siblings, your little siblings that are like 13 years old, if they want their rooms to look like that. And I don't even think they are aware that that's what their older sisters had their room when they were 10, when they were 12, when they were 15, and now they're doing it again. Why? I feel so old. As soon as my sister said that, I was like, "Are you serious?" She's like, "You hate it." I'm like, "I don't hate it. I'm just confused. I'm so confused. I don't know what to do with myself." My mom was like, "This is the first time you've ever felt old. Isn't that right?" I'm like, you are correct. I feel ancient. So the sun is going down. My time is up. I don't like the whole concept of the 2000s, the early 2000s, and then in the 1990s now both being trendy is confusing to me. Also, I don't know what's going on with like clothing nowadays, but whatever Target is selling for like dresses and shirts, the nicer stuff that's not just graphic tees and sweatpants and stuff, I'm not digging it. I'm not digging the current styles that are going on. It's not my favorite thing ever. I just don't enjoy it. Since I finished Bridgerton, now I need to find something to watch. I've been thinking about watching Lord of the Rings, which is a very like random thing for me to watch. It's not something that I commonly desired to do, and I've never actually watched it fully, but I am very interested in it for some reason. So maybe that. But if you have any recommendations for shows, comment on my latest Instagram post at MadRosePie, because I am very interested. Or you can comment on my TikToks. Anyway, I think I'm going to close this off because I kind of ran out of things to say about both of those things. Except, for one, I'm old. 2, love your body. No matter how it looks, no matter if it's not the stereotypical and traditional looking body for beauty, you are beautiful. No matter how you look, no matter how much you weigh, you are beautiful. And as long as you are taking care of yourself, your body and your brain, you're perfect. Social media and Hollywood in general need to catch up with the times whenever it comes to beauty standards, because it's getting frustrating at this point. Most women in the world are mid-size. That's what I think that Nicola is. She's a very mid-size person. Plus size is not the right word for her, in my opinion. She's very mid-size, and that is what the majority of women are, because that's just the average weight. The average looking person is a mid-size person. Hollywood, get it together, man. Get it together. together. So yeah, I'm very excited. This video podcast actually lasted this entire time. It did not cut on me this time around. So very thrilled about that. You'll be seeing me actually more on my YouTube channel at Mad Rose Pie if you want to watch the video version of this episode and for future episodes. Unfortunately, I did not have a written in story this time around from one of you guys, which is completely fine. In the future, I hope to tell your guys' stories at the end of each episode and or give you guys advice just so I can interact more with the viewers / listeners. Because I really want to be interactive with you guys. I'm very interested in your lives and what you guys want to tell. Of course, you can be anonymous or I can shout you out. It's completely your choice. So if you want to write in for the next episode, you can either email me at kindaunamusepod@yahoo.com or you can DM me at madrosepie on Instagram. And if you want to follow my socials, I post snippets of the podcast on my TikTok at Mad Rose Pie. You can follow me on all my socials at Mad Rose Pie. If you want to follow me on my Pinterest, that's A Dandelion Days. Don't worry, everything is linked down below. Just one click to my link tree and it'll send you to all the places that you need. Please reach out. I would love to talk to you guys. I'll see and talk to you guys next Wednesday.